Next speaker is someone that I've known for quite some time. I'm going to bring her up on the screen with me. And she is a serious powerhouse. We are so lucky to have her here today. She started her career in Atlantic Records in Manhattan, and she worked her way up and then became the general manager for Big Beat Records. And she really is a woman who's doing it all, exec, mama, and wife. And to tell us about how to make it big and make it all go right, please welcome Gina Tucci.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here, and I really enjoyed Jane and Jessica. That was amazing, and I'm getting a timer. That's so smart.
I know, right?
I love that. Yeah.
I know, I love that. I need to get that too. All right, Gina, over to you. I'm going to step out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me. As Meghan said, I am the general manager of a record label called Big Beat Records. It's a division of Atlantic Records, and we release a lot of electronic dance music, and I have been at the organization my entire career. So I kind of worked my way up from intern to general manager and head of A&R, which means artist and repertoire for the label. So just wanted to speak a little bit about my journey to where I am now. And also just balancing my career with being a mom. I have two daughters, a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. So I was an intern in college at Warner Music Group. And as I mentioned, I do A&R, which is signing artists and making records with the artists. When I was an intern, I worked in the publicity department, and very quickly realized how hard it is in the record business to move around and get to the career that you want to be in. So when they offered me a job in business and legal, which is not A&R, I took the job and sort of started my journey in that position. I worked my way up to be the assistant to the chairman and CEO of Atlantic, and was able to have my first hit record in 2010 when I was in that position. It was a record called Airplanes by a rapper named B.O.B. And from 2010 onward, I have just been signing artists and making records. And in that process, having 2 children and working, it's been a lot to juggle. And everyone always asks me, how are you able to travel and these late nights going to shows and in the studio with artists and having 2 children? And the answer is every day is an impossible day. It's no right formula. But I have just been able to have, amazing help, and my husband is amazing. And yeah, so I've just, everyone, young women always are just asking me how it's done. And I wish I had all the answers, but I don't. Being in a creative position, it's also, very stressful. And Jane and Jessica kind of spoke a little bit about, when you're running a business, you have to just get comfortable running numbers. So there's been a lot of growth in my role and within myself, just being comfortable with being able to, step back and look at creatively what we've done, and then, try to be real about what we're earning versus, what we're spending, because sometimes you can make creative choices and they're not always the right choices, and you're not, generating revenue based on your creative choices. So that pressure is always there as well. In fact, speaking of juggling, right now I am in the middle of a trip, and the power in my hotel room just went out. So sorry for the dark background. But, I think just what I always tell people in general is any young business owner or young executive is the art of patience. and believing in yourself and never letting anybody, no matter who they are, high up, below you or whatever, deter you from following your dreams. And you have to just be willing to take those risks and be willing to be wrong. And when you're wrong, just being okay with that and accepting that as a lesson learned and moving on. So that is just the biggest takeaway that I've taken away in my career. And as I'm learning new things every day, but just learning lessons every time that you've just, when you've done something that you thought was the right choice and then it ended up not being, that you can just take it as a lesson learned and move on from that. So in, conclusion of, my segment here, I just really always implore young women to not be so hard on themselves. The juggle is real, from motherhood to chasing your dreams to doing what you want to do, but you absolutely just have to hang in there and believe in yourself, and don't be so hard on yourself. And there will be days that you're not going to get things done on your checklist, and that's okay. And sometimes, not getting them done can actually create for a better checklist the next day. And just to really take it day by day, especially as a working mom. My children, I think, are, sometimes appreciative that I'm working, and they see that I'm managing my time, and they manage their time now too. It's funny, back to Jane and Jessica, when they were talking about from when you're 6 to 8 years old, you can spot some traits like being organized. And I'm thinking in my head, my 6-year-old is, she's so organized and has to be, because I'm working and have to keep things in line throughout the day. And these are things that sometimes I'm really proud of, that my kids get to see me and how I have to live my life to get things done and accomplish my dreams and raise a family. And I think it's inspiring my kids to be organized and understand and respect time and what needs to be done, and work versus play. So yeah.
Hi, Gina. I was like,
hi.
I definitely love what you were sharing. I was literally just typing in the chat. I was like, I wish I was that organized when I was 6. But that's amazing. I mean, I don't have kids yet. I know Chelsea just joined us on the screen, and she has a daughter who's 10, Chelsea?
She's 8.
8. Okay, 8. Sorry, I gave her a few years. But we're always talking about how, like, we are an influence around the people who surround us. And I even think like that happens when you're an intern. I love that you started off your story sharing just how you did an internship. I feel like some of the most powerful ladies that we've had at our events have all done internships. So I thought that was really insightful, because we definitely believe in the power of internships here at Modern Day Wife. And I was taking notes. I really also love the be willing to take risks and be willing to be wrong, because I think we can be so hard on ourselves when things don't go right, but we have to learn, right? Like that's how we get stronger and better. So you definitely shared some amazing wisdom with us tonight, and we really appreciate your time and making it go right, even when the power went out. So just as a testament to who you are, because I'm like, literally, that's what your segment was on, and you're just owning it. So that was awesome. We really appreciate you being here and giving us your time today.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to watch the rest of the event.
Yes.
There's so many amazing women on here. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Oh,